from start to finish? How are you getting the idea from conception to scripting?
Usually I'll wake up around like 7 a.m. I'll spend the first 2 hours reading everything on the internet. I'll see what other people are posting on YouTube that day. Then I'll see what is getting recommended on my homepage on YouTube, because that's whatever YouTube is recommending at the time. So those are the topics it thinks that people want to see the most of.
Right.
So I'll look at that and I'll see like what people are posting, what's getting recommended right now by YouTube. Then I will go on CNBC. I'll scroll through every single article that they posted that day, like everything. Then I do the Wall Street Journal. Then I do CNN Money. Then I have this one website, I don't know what it is, I randomly came across it, that aggregates all of the business articles online into one homepage.
Wow.
And there are updates every minute. And also, yeah, seriously, because you got to think, this aggregates information from like 20 websites and posts them all like consecutively when they post. So I just scroll through them. Does anything stand out to me that I think would be a good YouTube video or that's a cool topic? I'll go through Reddit. I'll see what people are talking about on Reddit. But just about 2 hours there where I just see what's going on in the day. And the worst days where it's like there's nothing going on and I gotta get a video out.
Right.
So on those days, I usually have a backlog of like 10 video ideas where it's like I could post them at any point.
They're more evergreen.
Picking the topic is, I think, one of the hardest parts. Like once I have a topic, I could usually force myself to sit down and plan it out. And it sucks because sometimes you're just not in the mood. It's just, you sit there and you just,
Yeah, like I know.
an hour goes by and you got nothing done. And you get upset. It's like, I just wasted an hour. Like I could have done all these things in an hour that I just sat here doing nothing. What I'll do is I'll make like a to-do list. And even if it's like Monday, plan a video. I do not end the day until I plan the video.
Right.
Like, it just doesn't happen. I'll always plan. And sometimes if it's like 2 p.m. and I'm only like 10% through, and what I'll do is then I'll say, well, I'll reward myself. I'll get DoorDash sushi, like $60.
Yeah.
But I'll get that as my reward when I finish. And I'll always finish because I want the sushi.
Right.
And I don't think there's ever been a time where I've set a goal like that. I just haven't done it. You find a way to do it.
You'll aggregate the news. You'll pick what the topic is. You'll spend all this time scripting it. How long does it take you to actually film?
15-minute video on average, an hour and a half. Because sometimes it'll take an hour. Sometimes it'll take 2.5 hours. It just depends. Sometimes
And you'll just keep the camera rolling and you're just, trying to get the best take of it.
And sometimes it's like you're in the flow. And usually what I'll do is I have a script off to the side, like word by word.
You word by word every script?
Every script. So every word I say is carefully thought out and planned. Because like what I do when I do a script, I'll write it out. I'll take a 10-minute break. Or like I'll go to the gym or something. And then I come back and I read the script out loud as though I'm saying it for a video. Because sometimes you'll write something and it sounds good, but then you'll read it back and you're like, well, I've reused this word too often, so let me find a different word to say here that means the same thing. Or this sentence is kind of repetitive, so I edit basically my speech by speaking it out loud, and like I'll just delete things, or if something isn't clear, I'll go and I'll clarify it. But yeah, so I speak it out loud. And then that way, by the time I film it, I've already spoken through the entire thing myself. I know it flows well, and I just got to say it, and I got to deliver it. So what I do is, like, if the camera's here, I'll have my phone, like, off to the side, like, you can't see it.
Right.
But I'll memorize a paragraph, or I'll memorize, like, 1 to 5 sentences that I want to say, and I'll just repeat it back to the camera. So
look at the script, do it again.
Yeah, so there's never, like, a teleprompter or anything, but, like, and it sounds better that I memorize it, because then I speak it sometimes in my own words. It's not always, like, word by word,
right?
But I'll be able to say it naturally in a way that like it sounds like I'm talking.
Right.
I've been training Alex now to edit my main channel videos. He edits a video for 8 hours, and I'll spend another 2 hours with him going over it myself.
You guys spend 10 hours editing one video?
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Yeah, his portion alone is 8 hours. He has not gotten it down yet. Eventually, he'll get good enough where he can do 5 hours. But going over it again and like every frame, I'm like, yeah, take that a little bit shorter. Make that a little longer. Sometimes we'll drop the audio and extend it into the next clip so it doesn't sound like too abrupt of a cut. We'll put pictures over certain things, and I'll put my take on things. So we really try to craft it and make it like perfect. All the titles and thumbnails I do myself still.
That's crazy.
Every single one of them. Because it's got to be perfect. If there's any sort of error on a title or thumbnail that's not perfect, there goes the entire video. It's like then the whole video is ruined.
Right.
So it's got to be perfect.
For everyone listening, that is the level that it takes to be the best in your craft. You know, at the end of the day, like you've made it, you know, you don't have to continue being so meticulous. Like, in my opinion, even if you spent 2 hours on a video, you would still do extremely well.
No. Yeah, I have to be more careful now.
Well, but
because I have to spend more time, but because so many people are watching.
Well, I would just say, like, my point is, you've only gotten to where you're at because you care that much about it, right? And so that you look at the greatest athletes, you look at the greatest businesses. We were just talking about Steve Jobs. He was famous for being so meticulous about every little detail of it. And for you to be that meticulous about your craft, you know, your video is, you know, your craft, and, you know, every frame by frame, breaking it down, putting 10 hours still into these videos when you could just cash it in at this point, right? Like, that says a lot about why you got to where you're at.
Yeah.